Northwest ACC member, the Cal Golden Bears brought their boys down the Denton to take on the Mean Green of North Texas. On a sweltering hot day in North Texas, the Bears tried to beat the heat along with the Mean Green. Cal converted their first foray with the football into the end zone, but the Mean Green galloped right down the green turf to tie the tilt at 7 apiece. Cal cashed in on an ill-time interception and took it for a touchdown on the next drive to take a 14-7 lead. The Mean Green gathered themselves and gallivanted down to the end zone to tie the tango at 14-14. The Bears' defense started to bear down on the Mean Green and forced a punt. Cal crossed the confines in 7 plays to take a 21-14 lead after an Isaiah Infance converted a 4th and 2, then found the end zone after a breathtaking, bruising, battering run by bouncing off all the Mean Green bodies and bullying his way over the border of the end zone. On the next possession, the Bears bursted through the Mean Green's gritters for a scintillating 66-yard scamper for a 27-14 lead. The Mean Green mustered up and muscled up defensively, forcing a fumble, then found the end zone to decrease the deficit to 27-21. The Bears then went on a back-breaking drive before the half, silencing the Mean Green supporters with 7 seconds left in the first half to take a 33-21 lead into the locker room. In the second half, the Mean Green couldn't contain Cal as they continued to carve huge holes in the Mean Green defense for the rest of the contest. The Bears decimated the defense in Denton and racked up 357 yards rushing, but balanced it out with 312 yards passing. The cantankerous Cal defense contained any challenge for the remainder of the conflict. Cal 58, North Texas 21.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sickles Committee podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of September 3rd, 2023. I thought week 0 was going to get me ready for week 1. I was wrong. Because as soon as Saturday hit, the fire hose of everything just felt so overwhelming. It was beautiful. I loved it.
I really enjoyed the DM that we got from our favorite Icelandic soccer team that was like, hey, love you guys.
Faroese Island.
Faroese Island soccer team that was like, hey, love you guys. Gonna mute you. And how do you tweet this?
We are a committee. There's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of us can be there all the time, but some of us can be there most of the time. I love people like that who get into our sphere who don't really get college football.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like, oh, there's a lot of this. Yep.
Oh, look, you found our favorite thing.
That's the funny thing is that we all have these like obsessions about various other things, me and korfball, y'all, and everything else. And then like, oh no, they don't really, they like those other things, but they really like this thing.
Mm-hmm. This is the thing we all like.
As always, I'm Jordan. With me tonight, I've got the usual crew of Kamish, Beth, Pit Girl, and Arthur listening in. Kamish, how was week 1?
It was a great week 1. Personally, it was, marred by a visit from my in-laws. No, I'm just joking. But no, I was like, okay, my in-laws are coming in, and this is week 1, and here comes the fire hose of college football coming through. How do I watch as much college football, tweet as much as possible, and not get them mad at me?
Yep.
At the same time, trying to balance 2 kids, and then like sister-in-law was here, preparing for my next YMCA soccer coach season coming up in a couple of weeks. We are no longer Team Turbo. We are the Dolphins. So that's it. We are the Dolphins. Definitely Dolphins here. Forward the we can repurpose that 1970 song Miami Dolphins number 1, and definitely change that to the YMCA Dolphins. YMCA Dolphins number 1. So yeah, that was my weekend. a lot of fun, I guess. I don't know. I made some ribs today. That was nice.
Oh.
Nice.
So yeah, they're delicious. So that worked out. It was hot, of course, but yeah, it worked.
Beth, we will get to the main part of your weekend later on and get a live report from Happy Valley. But otherwise, how was your weekend?
I am sunburnt. I am tired. I have imbibed several days of football, so it is a standard week 1, I would say.
Yeah, girl?
I'm good. I missed a decent chunk of yesterday because I was hanging out with friends in Meat Space who do not enjoy football, but it was a good time to hang out with them. And I also got to hang out with one friend's cat who is delightful. Shout out to Moma. Very cute, very soft, very fluffy. Would recommend. Also saw some high school friends who I haven't seen in quite a while today, which was very nice. So I'm good.
Wonderful.
And Pitt won.
Do we know if the cat likes football?
I would be surprised if Mama liked football. She is a California cat, but you never know. She might be a USC fan. I didn't ask her.
So let's start breaking this thing down because we have plenty to talk about. Rewind your brains to Thursday.
Oh God, who remembers?
Wait,
So-
say the line, Pit Girl.
Linear time was a mistake.
And on Thursday, we had sort of our amuse boucher. And
Or
What? The-
Boozy
amuse
Moose.
boucher.
Which is the weirdest of all of the Adam Sandler sequels, I think. But
We had Nebraska, Minnesota, the broken chair game. The Filer's Bits of broken chair game. This Nebraska team might actually be cursed deep. Kamish, what are we going to do about this?
Okay, so Nebraska was doing good. It was kind of a little bit of an ugly, Big Ten West game, which we kind of expected that. They're
Yeah.
trying to break in a new offense, new coach, new quarterback, whole bunch of new at Nebraska. And then Fox puts up like the graphic curse on Nebraska. Like Fox throws this graphic up and Nebraska's leading this game. And they're like, can they do it? And then they throw the graphic up. It says, in the past 5 seasons, 25 one-score losses, 16 second half blown leads, both most in FBS in the past 5 years. Seems to be foreshadowing for what occurred for Nebraska. And after that graphic, Nebraska had 2 turnovers. Like they immediately fumbled, like right after that graphic came up. Minnesota drives down and amazing catch. This weird toe tap Minnesota touchdown where
It was crazy.
Mhm.
I don't even know. I mean, again, Minnesota, that needs to be like a logo on a shirt next week. Like whatever he did, it kind of looked like the Jumpman Jordan, but I want the trail of that stuff that comes up from the turf on this shirt with his toe drag. I want that. And I want the shirt to be, gold. And then I want him to be in maroon because that's what color jersey you were wearing in.
Mhm.
Then Nebraska, okay, fine, tied 10-10. Okay, Nebraska's got a shot. They're driving down. They get into Minnesota territory. I'm like, okay. Then pressure in the quarterback's face. Safety reads it, picks it off. Minnesota goes down and they kick, was it 47-yarder with time expired?
Yeah.
I mean, like straight down the pipe. Like just perfect.
Couldn't have been any cleaner.
Could not have been. I mean, just an amazing kick, left-footed kicker too. Awesome. So, Nebraska loses another one-score game. We're not here to haha, Nebraska lost. Nothing like that. No, it's time to figure out how we stop this Nebraska. We need to figure out, what to do here. Me growing up, tortured Saints fan, we didn't win a playoff game until the year 2000. And the Saints were a team that was created in 1967.
Mm-hmm.
It took us a few years to make the playoffs. I think we didn't make the playoffs until 1986. 86 feels right. So, yeah, didn't win a playoff game at all. We had so many opportunities to do it from 86 to like 2000. The Saints called a voodoo priestess to come exorcise the demons from the Superdome before the playoff game. And they were playing the defending champions, the St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf in this game. So the Saints get out to like a huge lead. It's 31-14. And there's like 5 minutes left in the game. And then you're like, and then the Saints are celebrating. We finally won the game. And then bam, bam, Rams.
Yep.
Two touchdowns. I'm like, oh God.
Cursed.
It's 31-28. Cursed Saints fan existence. No way. The Saints go 3-and-out and have to punt it back to the Rams. And you're like, oh God. There's like a minute left. They're going to lose this. They're going to blow it. They're going to blow the 17-point lead. The Saints will never win a playoff game. But Oz Hakeem fumbles the ball, and Penn State legend Brian Milne recovers. Penn State Saints legend recovers the ball, and the Saints finally win their first playoff game. So Nebraska, I don't know if there's like a voodoo corn priestess or something like that. I mean,
Or a burnt offering, something. Because
guys, can like corn leaves or like the outside of the corn, the shuck area,
the razor sharp part we learned.
The razor sharp part. Can we like burn this like sage and just like over the, maybe the volleyball team, their good vibes will come to the stadium now, because they hit that record, which was awesome. But there's got to be something there, or it's maybe you have to beat the team that first started this streak.
And who was that, Kamish?
And that was Colorado.
And who do they play next week?
And guess what? They play Colorado next week.
We'll talk about this Colorado team in a minute.
We'll talk about them.
I'm going to eat some crow in a bit. I think a lot of us are.
I didn't want to say anything about Colorado.
I know. I did.
I know. You go ahead. You say stuff about Colorado. Or there's another theory that since their first game with Akron got, lightning and rained out, they need to play Akron to set their path back on course, but they don't play Akron until 2025 to make up that 2018 game. So I'm hoping they can get this curse done with, because I feel like I am a tortured Nebraska fan now. I really do. Just doing this committee stuff, we pay attention to Nebraska a lot, but like there just comes to be a point like, make it stop. Come on, please save the Cornhuskers fans,
I feel bad for Nebraska fans, but it is still a little bit funny to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a combination of the two. Let's go same night, Thursday night. Let's travel west like Florida did. Final score is Utah 24, Florida 11. This game was never even in question.
Nope.
Utah absolutely held a handful of rocks in their face and punched Florida until they stopped, like we said they would. And it was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, this was a stop hitting yourself kind of football game.
I can't imagine. Graham Mertz played pretty well, like acquitted himself fine. 31 for 44, 333 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, but he took 5 sacks. He took 5 sacks.
He is not going to have a good time in SEC play.
That's what I'm thinking.
No.
Because no one on that Florida team is going to have a good time in SEC play, because the 11 really doesn't sell it. 24-11 sounds like it's in the ballpark. That 11, that TD was scored in the fourth quarter in garbage time. And so it was really 24-3 for a long time. And they played Utah's game, and Utah just held them down and just wailed on them like we thought they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Florida's going to have why did we fire Dan Mullen again?
Lack of recruiting, I believe.
Okay.
What the reasoning was.
That's
there.
So Billy Napier's going to fix it all. This is just.
Hey, I am happy that Billy Napier went to Florida because he was given.
Well, I know why you're fucking happy.
I just wanted him gone from the Raging Cajuns. So whatever he's doing now, I'm just glad he ain't there. So definitely, my personal opinion is like, hey, go right ahead and do that. I did want to note that Florida did not pick up a third down in this game. I believe.
Yeah,
Did you not?
I don't think so.
Oh,
They did
that's
not
rough,
convert
buddy.
one. Also on top of
Oh
that,
boy.
Graham Mertz had a record high passing for his career. He threw for 333 yards.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
So
no,
yeah.
he might be the new Kyle Trask. Oh no.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah. Let that settle in your stomach.
Ugh. No, don't.
Well, again,
Ipecac now.
while taking 5 sacks, this if they can't protect him, he's not going to survive the first 6 weeks. And then what, Florida? Can I interest you in North Carolina State 24, UConn 14? UConn acquitted themselves quite well in this game.
Yeah.
And then it just got away from them towards the end.
Yeah, UConn was feisty. I watched a lot of this game. And they did an admirable job. They were in it in like late into the third quarter. And yeah, zesty UConn back on the menu.
I'm still not sure why North Carolina State decided they needed to go to Connecticut for this, but hey, I'm glad they did. It made for a good game.
We all get the flyer miles whatever way we have to.
Yeah, they're stocking up on frequent flyer points before they have to go to Cal, I think is the move here.
Right. Got to get that Diamond Plus status as fast as you possibly can.
The Kent State Ride to Hell tour actually did end up in hell. UCF 56, Kent State 6. Kent State under the first year of new regime, and it just was not great. Here's the thing. UCF didn't play very well. Like, they scored a ton, yeah, but it didn't look great. I will say UCF did end up with 702 yards.
Beep, 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 beep. We interrupt with a live update from LSU Florida State. LSU just threw a pick, like very obvious pick, straight to it, a Florida State DB while ABC was interviewing Mike Norvell.
Oh.
Oh my. Why were they what are they doing? Why are they interviewing him mid-game?
These interviews, I'm all for these now. Because if something like this happens, like the in-game baseball manager interview when like there's a pitch going on and somebody makes an error or something like that. Yeah, when something like this happens, yeah, I'm all for it now. Let's go right ahead. Make sure the game's going when you're interviewing them. So that's a lot of fun.
Kent State is going to have a rough year this year in the MAC, I'm pretty sure. It's going to take a while for their new regime to get settled in. I would like to shout out Rhode Island for keeping it feisty with Georgia State. This game ends up being Georgia State 42, Rhode Island 35. But it was so close till the very end and a ton of fun.
Yeah, shout out to the Rams. They gave us probably one of the best games besides Nebraska-Minnesota on Thursday night. It was great.
Do you know who Rhode Island's quarterback is?
No.
That's Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill from Tennessee and Maryland?
No relation to Taysom Hill, formerly of BYU?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
But Taysom Hill had been at Tennessee and Maryland. He played a couple of games at Maryland. I remember him being pretty good there. I don't think he ever actually played at Tennessee. No, he was part of the scout team at Tennessee in 19. But then like blew up at Rhode Island. And then we had the Haboob.
The Haboob alert.
The Haboob alert. Had you never heard of the phrase Haboob?
Nope.
Honestly, being a weather like nerd, wanting to be a meteorologist, growing up, no, never heard the term Haboob. The only reason I probably never heard the term is because I grew up in Louisiana and this is like a desert phenomenon.
Yeah, because you don't get a lot of dust storms.
Not crazy like Independence Day, ship looking storms around Louisiana. We'll get some crazy storms, we'll get hurricanes, we'll get tropical storms, tornadoes or anything, but not the Haboob.
So a Haboob is a giant dust storm. It has to do with certain kinds of winds. Like in front of thunderstorms, they create these Haboobs. I've seen them once or twice. They're pretty crazy. And they had a Haboob delay in the Arizona State Southern Utah game, which made the game go later. And Kamish says here he needs to apologize for going to sleep. You know what, guys? Fuck that. We sleep. Kamish has 2 kids. I have 1. The other 2 ladies on this podcast have lives and they work. We have jobs.
Yeah, I think I made it. I don't think the game restarted until it feels like almost like 2 a.m. Central.
It was late as shit.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I went out. I tried to stay up as late as possible. I got awoken by the baby at 5 a.m. So if I would have stayed, it would have been worse. But I tried to stay up as late as possible to do it. I'm just putting this on here because I know no context football.
Whatever.
Our friends there,
Just giving you shit.
they're just giving me shit, and it's fine. I just wanted to mention it because I saw it. It's fine. Arizona State almost blew this one.
Arizona State wins this one 24-21.
Yeah, they almost blew this
winning being a really strong word here.
They almost blew this to the fabulous Thunderbirds.
The best part was that Southern Utah's last score was off a blocked punt, and this was like mid fourth quarter. So after at fucking 3 a.m. East Coast time, whenever this was, gets a blocked punt and runs it all the way back for a touchdown, 47 yards. That's amazing. Hey, girl, you okay there?
I just saw a very strangely costumed Florida State fan, and I'm going to need to take a moment to process. That's all.
Let's jump forward to Friday. Friday, I'll be honest, not nearly as interesting. We had a couple of decent games. The first one I want to talk about is the Louisville-Georgia Tech game, which I said up and down was going to be like this, whatever, this is going to be awful, this is going to be awful. Nah, man. Louisville 39, Georgia Tech 34. This one came down to the wire. And this was feisty ACC.
Yeah.
And you know me, I slander the ACC all the time. But this was feisty ACC. I enjoyed this. This was Jeff Brom's big win back home at Louisville. Brent Key acquitted himself very well now that he has the interim tag off. Mm-hmm. It was a fun game. I can't complain.
Mm-hmm. The spirit of the Coastal lives on.
It does. It's in the by the spirit you mean it's in the walls and we can't get rid of it.
Yes.
It's in all of us, like asbestos.
like the stuff on Teflon pans that is a forever chemical that will live in us all.
ACC Coastal, forever plastic.
Was this the Florida State fan you were talking about, Pit Girl? I just put it in the chat.
Yes.
Okay. All
Tennis racket mask guy.
Oh my.
What?
Oh my. That is, like a badminton or a fencing mask maybe? With ESPN on it.
But it's too flat to be a fencing mask.
Looks like they could be an EDM DJ.
I can see that.
Then on the same night on Friday, we had the Confusion Bowl, except there was no confusion because Miami beat the shit out of Miami, Ohio.
Yeah. The only interesting thing on that one, which I'm glad to see, well, I know as the Sickos community, we're not necessarily glad for this, but yeah, I'm really happy that Miami kind of didn't crap themselves in this game.
Yeah.
I will say this. I know, Pickero's like, no, we want to see Miami bad. You do realize the rest of my family is my mom's side of the family's from Miami, so there is a Hurricane fan side of myself. So yeah, that's one thing. Another thing, the chosen one plays for Miami of Ohio.
Yes, the chosen one. We found this out. His name is. Let me find the exact name because I'm
Alec Bevelheimer. I mean, how could you forget that?
Alec, I can remember the first name. Alec Bevelheimer. They're punter and kicker.
Punter and
the prince who was promised.
Mm-hmm. We were told that he would arrive, and he is here, and we have beveled him as is becoming of someone of his status. If we ever start an NIL collective, I feel like he's the first one that's got to be part of it. Also, did you notice who Miami's quarterback was? It's a name that might be familiar to people. It is a Mr. Sorry, this is Miami, Ohio. This was Mr. Brett Gabbert.
Yeah, we got another Gabbert in our system.
Yes. You might remember his older brother, Blaine Gabbert.
Yes.
This is
Gabbert.
This is the youngest Gabbert. Brett threw for 12 for 21, 127, 0 TDs, 0 ends. Took 2 sacks on that. But yeah, Miami looked fun. I hope this continues because, I don't know. I like when things go well for some people.
It would be very funny if the year in which we finally get Miami, Florida State in the ACC championship game is the year after we get rid of divisions.
The argument I would make for good Miami is that when Miami has the capability of being good, bad Miami is so much more fun. Like we need balance. There must be good Miami to make the bad Miami more fun.
There's got to be ups and downs. So, I mean, tell me this. Like when Miami had that one season under Mark Richt, the first season, they're undefeated. the turnover chain comes out. I mean, how fun was that? And then they just beat Notre Dame's ass in the Hard Rock Cafe Stadium Bowl, whatever it's called. Hard Rock Stadium, I think. Okay. That was fun. The ending to the season wasn't great for Miami, but again, that was
I had a
that was
lot of
fun.
fun
I
with
really
that.
enjoyed that.
I had so much fun with that. I
Mhm.
was one of like 5 people in attendance for that game because it was on Black Friday. And it was amazing. I woke up at 4 a.m. and drove out with my dad. And I was like, why are we doing this? We're going to get our shit kicked in. And then I spent the whole game having anxiety that what was happening was not actually happening. And then we did the thing.
Like you're having an out-of-body experience.
Basically, yes. Like, was I actually perceiving what was happening? It wasn't the honestly, the strangest thing about that game was that it was not even really a nail biter. We just like went out and whipped
Yeah.
Miami's ass for
Mhm.
some reason.
Yeah, that season was just weird, and that was a way to end it, which is just it kind of you felt like Miami they were going to lose at some point, and then I mean, was it like a Thanksgiving day after Thanksgiving?
It was Black
game?
Friday,
Black
and
Friday,
Pitt
it was
was
Black Friday.
bad.
Yeah, I mean,
that season.
it was it's an appropriate season for that, and that was great.
Oh, and Florida State goes up another touchdown.
Mhm.
Oh, sweet Christ, Kamish. What is that bevel?
That's the fan.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
No.
What the oh my god.
Oh no.
That is the equivalent of playing the record backwards and finding out there really are messages from Satan on there.
Yeah, this is and this one just goes, I do the chop anyways.
We've summoned a demon. Honestly, the most unsettling thing about this isn't the face, it's the like mostly not beveled disembodied arm.
Yes, exactly. It's reaching out of the picture at me. Like, this is the ring, but for bevels. Why did you do this?
This looks like Spirited Away. This is
It's
what
no
it looks
face.
like. Yep, that's exactly what it is, and it's really causing me problems. On that same Friday, we had, not on this list, but I want to mention it, Eastern Michigan 33, Howard 23. Eastern Michigan had Howard put away 23-0, and then let them come back.
Yeah.
And I sat there go, like it was 23-0 early in the second quarter, and then Howard scores a touchdown, and then a field goal, and then a touchdown, and then another touchdown. And eventually they stopped them, but for a while I was afraid this was going to be an Eastern loss. And then late on Friday, we had our first Hawaii test. Stanford at Hawaii. Go good.
Hold on. Let's talk about the Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, sure.
The uniforms?
Oh,
the Eastern Michigan, the shininess off of the gray field was absolutely amazing. It was
the poor camera crews trying to balance that game. The white balance, like I felt so bad because it was the gray field. It was the Eastern,
the sun reflecting off of the Eastern Michigan
numbers. The numbers.
Stuff. It was amazing. I don't think Beth caught this one. Hold on.
I did not. I was busy being a high school band director.
Let me see if I have a photo of this.
Find a picture.
Because it was oh my god.
It was hard to watch, like actually hard to watch.
Oh, sweet. Oh my god.
Yeah, like it was literally.
Don't go into the light. Oh no.
It looks like
it looks like they shot this thing while they were running the lights with like a deer spotlight.
Yeah. And that's just the sun. Then we had our first real Hawaii test. This is Friday night at 10 p.m. Central because reasons. Stanford went to Hawaii. This is Stanford under their new head coach and their new staff. And guys, Stanford was fun. Stanford threw for 237 and ran for 154. Like, we are at new kind of Stanford, and I'm here for it. Also, Hawaii played very well too. They threw for 300 plus yards, but that's what they're supposed to do. And yeah, like this is just a really fun game that went late. Everyone was super happy in Hawaii to get out there and get the game going. I just thumbs up. I love Hawaii football.
I fell asleep in the second quarter of this game, as is tradition, but what I saw of it, I really enjoyed. Love to see Hawaii being fun and Stanford having a pulse. Both good.
Yep. This one, I got home and like Pit Girl, I was also asleep in the second quarter. But I got to see a little bit of it, and it was just It was just nice to see Hawaii out there having fun.
Then we move on to Saturday. And we're coming to your city. The new version of it, I am okay with it. It's fine.
I mean, again, they should have went with On the Map.
I know what you think, yes.
I mean, you could have got Darius Rucker to sing On the Map.
So then what we need to talk about is Colorado TCU. I'll say it first. I completely fucked this one up.
Yeah, same. I was
Same.
wrong. I'll do the little dance from Gravity Falls. I was wrong. Colorado's good.
Yeah.
I feel weird about that, but
First off, I want to say that Travis Hunter is insane.
yeah.
Dude played
Yeah.
snaps on both sides of the ball, ended up with 11 catches, 119 yards, and 1 interception, I believe.
And the most impressive interception I've ever seen.
I don't know how he got it. I kept overlooking it, and he just jumped out of nowhere. TCU, I don't want to take away from how amazing Colorado was. TCU looked slow and lost. And Colorado came out, put them on their heels, and just did not let them get up.
Yep.
The game ends up being, if you don't know, 45-42 Colorado. And I don't know. Shedeur Sanders, 39 for 48, 529 yards, 4 TDs. Colorado had 4 receivers with over 100 yards apiece. Just whatever. I can't say anything. That was just amazing.
Look.
And not just good, but fun. Just fun to watch.
Oh, so fun.
This is one thing it's why I didn't want to have any take on Colorado, because honestly, I didn't know how that many people could be confident to have a take.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm again, as the commissioner, I don't necessarily make bold statements. As the commissioner, I have to play, stay in the center, stay composed. I have to maintain some semblance of integrity here in the Sickos Committee, which is a fun sentence to say out loud. No, but I just didn't have any takes. I just had no idea how it was going to work. I was very fascinated by their offense because I know Kent State's head coach left Kent State to be Colorado's offensive coordinator.
He's going to make so much money his next job. Holy shit.
I mean,
this is Sean Lewis, by the way.
Yeah, Kent State. Kent State's offense was giving Georgia problems last year. Them, getting him, which is weird to feel like, you got to go from G5 head coach to P5 coordinator now, which is strange. I'll give you that. It feels like but I mean, okay, Kent State MAC G5 coach to, P5 Colorado. I get it. But their offense was fantastic. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. Hello, Blue.
Good evening, everybody.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Blue is here. Thank you for joining us. We are in the middle of the Colorado TCU review.
Tell me your take on that one, Blue.
So I have been saying to anyone who would listen to me that there's a possibility that TCU may lose, let's say, a lot of talent between going to the national championship and going into year 2 for Sonny Dykes, who I have seen lose more games than he won at his last job, which he was desperately trying to get away from. Mm-hmm. And they did not look like they had a defense who could stop any offense, much less one who had a 500-yard passer in Shedeur Sanders. Maybe there's a relation to the head coach. We'll never know.
Never know.
No, I don't.
But I want to say this because they talk bad about Shedeur. He's too small, he fumbles a lot. Those are all things that I've said about him in the past after watching him play football at Jackson State. No HBCU ever allowed Shedeur Sanders to throw for 500 yards. Don't know what to make of that information, but that's something I took away from this game against Texas Christian University. So good job, Horned Frogs. You did it.
You did it. You did it, folks. You did it. Again, I want to give a lot of credit. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, both phenomenal. And I mean, their offense was just, from the opening get-go, it was just giving TCU fits. And I don't know if Colorado's going to be any good on defense at all. Really, I don't know, because it was an up and down game. It was a lot of fun, back and forth, a lot of points. But if Colorado is like this entertaining, and their offensive coordinator like Sean Lewis is going to get a head job probably next year. I mean,
absolutely.
guaranteed. Like, I mean,
maybe by week 4.
I mean, who knows? First opening, let's take Colorado's offensive coordinator, and he was a head coach at Kent State. So yeah, I mean, I really didn't watch too much of this game because the entire timeline was tweeting about it.
Right.
So I was kind of like, okay, Twitter, you just show me everything that happens in this game, because they're just showing clips of like every single play. And I was like, fine, I'll watch other stuff in my quad box.
I watched a lot of this game. It was a lot of fun. It was very defense optional. Like, the total yardage across both teams was well north of 1,000 yards. Like, insanity.
Yeah.
So I will be interested to see if Colorado still looks this good next week. Because like, Nebraska's less defense optional. The other thing, though, and this was pointed out very astutely by the folks at Split Zone Duo, is that TCU was just like making some weird decisions. And I do think that they lost a lot between last year and this year. That was very obvious as well. But like, one of the picks was them, like, they march the ball all the way down the field running the ball, and then they decide to throw when they get close to the end zone. They cough the ball up twice that way.
Yeah, if they just kept running,
Yeah,
I don't know that they would have won it, but it would have felt like they were doing the thing that was working.
yeah. I don't know what the deal was there.
So the only thing that like I'm worried about here is that Shooter Sanders got sacked 4 times.
Yeah,
and I don't want him to get run over. What you got, Blue?
I just wanted to throw this up here. This is Game on Paper. This is what I use when I'm writing the Sickos recaps that I do weekly. Working on a third one for this week. It might be Minnesota and Nebraska and the $5 bits of chair. But on this, the EPA for Colorado was 29.46. That's their total EPA, which is to say that every time they took a snap, every time they took an action on offense, it was almost worth 28 points for everything that they did.
Total, yes.
Total.
Because they're an EPA per play about 0.33, which is very good.
Very, very good. So they went out there and put on a clinic of how to play, 1, without being scared. They were not afraid of TCU. 2, both with a lead and without a lead. Because there's a sequence at the end of the first half where they are behind and they score 10 points immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then they score 7 at the start of the third quarter. And then throughout the fourth quarter, they never stopped scoring, including a 46-yard touchdown to, and I want to really shout this out, rookie freshman Dylan Edwards, who caught it on 4th and 2 and took it to the house. And that was the last scoring of the game.
Yeah.
And that had 4 minutes left.
Let's back up then. Tell me about the Labor Day Classic, sir. Because our man Blue was in attendance.
I sure was. I talked about this with the other fellas on our podcast. And there's a play that Jordan is showing. It's Virginia State has the ball inside their own 5. They take the snap. They have 6 seconds left. It's 4th and 7, and they get 6 yards, and there's 1 second left on the clock. So Norfolk State then has an opportunity to kick a field goal and try to send the game to overtime.
So let's watch this first. Let's watch this first part here.
Please,
Let's go ahead. We'll watch the first part and let Beth live react.
He sprints to the corner.
Okay.
Davis out of the end zone.
Wow,
And
there
out
was
of
1
bounds.
second left.
Is
Why
there
don't you
time
take-
left?
Why don't you take the safety? Why?
That's a great
Why?
that's a great question.
Mhm.
Beth.
There was
Why
1
don't
second.
you?
You see the Norfolk State players have
Wow.
Wow! 1 second on the game clock.
Oh, you
Virginia
big
State
dummy.
flags flew across the field.
Back those
All right,
flags.
he's a
up.
rookie.
All right.
This
Let's pause
quarterback
it.
is-
Pause it.
It's like the most haunting thing you can ever hear in college football. Let's put 1 second back on the clock.
Mhm.
That's right.
I just see Mac Brown holding the one up.
Hey,
Yep.
I love this commentator. Just like the color commentator, all he could say was "Wow."
Wow.
I love this.
He got dragged so hard in our timeline for saying Norfolk, hitting that L real hard.
Norfolk.
So listen, folks. The name of the school is Norfolk State University.
That's right.
The FOLK is pronounced fuck.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
that's not a profanity. That's just the actual pronunciation.
Nothing.
Either is fine on this podcast.
Thank you very much. I want to be clear about something on this. I watched the entire game, and I was sitting so Norfolk State Stadium is one of the few stadiums that's oriented east-west. I was sitting on the east end zone, and I watched a lot of the first half of Norfolk State going into that end zone. Norfolk State had the following first half drives. They score a touchdown in the red zone. They go for it on fourth down and don't get it in the red zone. They miss a field goal. And then in the second half, they go for it on fourth down and don't get it in the red zone. And then right before this drive, they went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. That's why Virginia State was backed up to the 5. So they had 4 opportunities to get points and got 0 points. And any one of those drives would have given them the opportunity to win the game, much less tie it. And so this all goes back to really bad coach decisions. This is year 3 for Coach Odoms, who came from Southern University. I've said this. Forgive me. I was told this could be a therapy session.
Yeah, go for it.
Go right ahead. This is podcast therapy. We've seen this first part. We haven't seen the second part yet. Beth will understand the second part.
Please, Jordan, if you'd like, Jordan, please show this.
So
hold on one moment. Hold on one moment. Let me just this in the words of Fraser Crane here. I'm listening.
And the snap fumble.
Oh my God!
It gets away from the holder.
And he runs it back.
Virginia State takes it.
Oh no! Oh blue! Oh no!
I want to be clear. None of this is on the long snapper and the holder.
Nah, should have never been in that position to fuck that up.
Should have never been in his position. But I want to say this because there's a lot of people who maybe listen to my show. There's a lot of people who maybe listen to the sickos and think I'm just some random person who happens to know a lot or love HBCUs. This is my 20th season watching Norfolk State University football. The first season I actually sat in the stands was at the Labor Day Classic in 2004. I watched Norfolk State lose that game as well. Norfolk State that season won a single game against a hapless North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, who won 0 games in that season. I have paid and donated money to the football team. I'm a member of the Norfolk State University Alumni Association. I have season tickets and was at this game. I also paid for a tailgate to happen at this football game. I am as Norfolk State as it gets. And I love Norfolk State University, and I have watched a lot of bad Norfolk State teams. But the way they lost this football game, the decisions that were made in coaching, the offensive challenges they had against a team that is undersized, and the defensive challenges they had against a team that wanted it more are the reason they lost this game. I don't know if Coach Odoms will hear my voice. I don't know if the athletic director will hear my voice. I don't know if the fan base, the green and gold faithful, will hear my voice. But I am as mad at this outcome as I have been at a football outcome in a long time.
I can't fathom it, Blue. Like I can't fathom it.
Yep. Norfolk State has played football against Virginia State since 1938. The first game Norfolk State ever played wasn't against Virginia State's football team. It wasn't against Virginia State's backups. It was against Virginia State B, because Virginia State that year went on to win the CIAA. Virginia State was a power. Virginia State stayed in the CIAA and never joined Division II, and to this day owns the Labor Day Classic against Norfolk State. And I have watched them lose this game multiple times. And so this is a frustrating set of events, because in year 3, Coach Odom should have the team ready to compete. And they got run over, pushed around, and outright beat at home by a team that has given this team fits for years. And so as a long-suffering Norfolk State Spartan fans, next week we have the Battle of the Bay Classic, which is against Hampton Institute. Maybe one day they'll become a university. Who knows? We'll find out. Norfolk State's been a university almost 50 years, 1979. Hampton just decided to stay in Institute.
Get there one day.
Maybe one day, who knows?
Maybe.
But the point I'm getting at is, it's on to the next game. If he doesn't have them ready and they lose to a team that's 1-0, by the way, good old Hampton went and won their game. We're going to be in trouble this season, because Norfolk State is one of 3 Division FCS HBCUs that lost to a Division II HBCU, to include Delaware State, the Hornets, who went and got 11 points, the magic number, against Bowie State, former CIAA champion from last year. And then Mississippi Valley State, I love you, Delta Devils. I'll love you forever. But they went and lost to the Central State Marauders of the SEAC, a Division II conference. And they lost in another heartbreaking way, I might add. So this is the year, we're talking about sickos. I explained it this way to folks, because somebody asked me, what's it like for Central to lose? This would be like Indiana. Mississippi Valley State. But this is like Indiana losing to Youngstown State. Because Mississippi Valley is like Indiana. Long-suffering. Go ahead.
How would that feel, Pit Girl? Just hypothetically.
Why are you like this? I deserve this, but also
Jesus Christ.
Good. Again, this is that West Virginia Pitt dynamic we got going here. Some good stuff here.
We're working on a 3-week build here. This is important.
This is very fair.
Oh my God, Blue! Thank you for walking us through that, and
again,
thank you for having me.
Enjoy that podcast therapy, because it's needed sometimes throughout the season. And again, as the committee, we offer some sort of catharsis for everybody, and again, we're diehard fans of teams that have not been good for long times. Pitt, West Virginia, you've all had your down times. I understand that. But we're kind of catharsis for teams that are long suffering, long languishing fans. And we're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you, because it's ridiculous. And then of course it's math. Like, not everybody can win and be good every year. But
says the undefeated ULM.
I mean,
exactly.
We can talk about that in a little bit, but I mean,
I will say, Blue, that when I posted that video, what I posted
it
was
you, by the way.
All of you need to watch these last 2 plays of the Virginia State Norfolk State game, audio up, and put your responses below. This is a required assignment. And everyone in the timeline had 2 questions. Like, one was everyone going like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this," and the other one was, what was the spread on this game? Is I think everyone's first response is like, this is some point shaving shit.
This gave me some flashbacks to Saints playoffs, like their heartbreaking loss to the hated Atlanta Falcons.
Yep. When
the Saints threw the interception when they were driving for the win, and Bobby Hebert throws the interception, Deion Sanders picks it off, and then laterals it to somebody else who takes it all the way down for a touchdown, when it was not necessary to do that, but just to rub it in the face. So like the Virginia State person taking it all the way to the house, just flashbacks for me there. So that was some good pettiness in college football, which we love.
Oh, we love it. It's
unless
called
it's against
Battle of
us,
States. Well, it's Battle of States. This is a big deal for these 2 schools. I was on campus, we had Greek events where both universities sent their Greeks to party. And the Virginia State folks had shirts that said "Hail State," and the Norfolk State folks said "Behold the green and gold." And so we love each other. Norfolk State would not exist without Virginia State. When we were little more than a single room in the YMCA, they held our hands and took us forward into becoming a college and then a university. So we love to play them. We love to see them. Even if they beat us, they always make sure to let us know they love us like the little brother that we are. And I just want to point one thing out. Howard plays Harvard later this year.
Yes, they do.
They're going to Cambridge, and they're going to be playing in, I believe it's Harvard Stadium. Is that the name of their stadium, Jordan?
Yes, it is.
It's the reason why football fields are only 53 yards wide. So thanks, Harvard. You really did us a favor there. But I always say this, and the last time these 2 teams played, Howard lost by less than a score and was driving to win the game and ran out of time. Harvard is the Howard of the Ivy League. If Howard wins this game, and I have on good authority that they will, I will be a very difficult fan to deal with for the rest of the school year. And I will always remind Harvard folks, you all are the Howard of your conference. One day, you'll be as good an institution as Howard University.
Woo.
Fucking love
My
it.
second alma mater.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Woo.
My second alma mater, who I love dearly, who scored 23 points in their game against Eastern Michigan.
And gave him a hell of a scare, too.
Gave them a hell of a scare and has a history of beating FBS teams. Sorry, UTEP.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for letting me commiserate about my beloved Spartans. I'll be back next week to talk about them if they win or lose against Hampton Institute. But Hampton folks know where I'm at, and they've been coming after me all week to let me know that they're waiting for next week, where we're heading over to their little stadium. So thank you for having me. I'm very grateful. And we'll make sure to remind folks, put a picture up that I sent Jordan of the band, of the mighty Spartan Legion. Remember, folks, to behold the green and gold.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So we go on Saturday to a couple of our big upsets. I don't know if you consider Fresno State over Purdue to be an upset, but this one came down to the wire. And also, Purdue may be in for a rough time this year, guys.
Yeah.
This may not be.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I am not. No, new head coach for Purdue. I'm not going out on them at all. New head coach, first game, not doing it. Fresno is feisty. Purdue had their chances to put this game away, and they didn't do it. I was watching this one pretty much intently as much as possible for this one. But yeah, Purdue had their chances, and they just didn't take them. And when Fresno got their chance, they took them. And that's what Fresno does. Like, if you give Fresno opportunities, they are a really good, I don't care about G5 thing. Fresno are really, again, defending Mountain West champions.
Yep,
I know they don't, I know they don't have Hainer or whatever. It was a great game. Again, Purdue's got a lot of new stuff. New coach. They got like a new end zone, new turf. Again, week one game, this can happen. This can happen in week one. And I am not selling out on Purdue here at all.
I also saw who their QB was, and then immediately my stomach sank. I'd forgotten that former Texas quarterback Hudson Card had gone to Purdue.
Yeah.
And I've watched Hudson Card. Yeah, he played fine. 17 for 30, 254 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. Fine. How about another sort of upset? How about Northern Illinois beating Boston College? This game.
Okay, all right.
Christ.
I'm just gonna give you this. All right, you know my in-laws are in town, right?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Quad box is back, so we could do the little thing. Hold on, do I need to do the word because that's a bit, I guess. Quad box. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, I have this game on along with 2 other games. I have Northern Illinois and BC, and then below that one, I have Arkansas State OU.
So on your quad box, you get to choose your 4, right?
So the only thing is, like, I have the Apple TV. I have to use the ESPN app.
Okay.
So I only get ESPN stuff, like ESPNU, ESPN, anything ESPN. That's on my Apple. It's not the YouTube TV thing. Like, I have like a Kindle. I have like tablets. I have laptops or whatever for like Fox games. And I have them like on the couch, and I'm sitting on the floor with like a bunch of stuff going. I don't have like a great Bubba Prague, Tim Burke set up because
no one does.
My kids will knock it down. So really,
breaking LSU kicked a sad field goal.
Hey,
it's 45-24 with 1:15 left.
Oh Lord!
And yeah, this one got away.
They did not kick a sad field goal. They got a garbage time touchdown. But
garbage time touchdown.
Oh, so it was a garbage time touchdown?
Garbage time touchdown, and they're doing the onside kick now, and it failed. While we are doing...
You're ahead of me. Oh, no, you're ahead of time.
Apologies. While we're doing the breaking news, also, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that Tiger Droppings has crashed.
Oh, gee, really?
Yep.
Yeah, Tiger Droppings has crashed. The message board, they are on fire. Our I guess, I'm not going to call him our friend, but gentleman that we love, the most from the Shutdown Fullcast, Spencer Hall, he tweeted, Olympus has fallen, but he spelled it EAUX.
Oh God, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
And that has been retweeted on the timeline. Olympus has fallen.
Yeah, Message Sport Geniuses
God.
is going to have a really fun time when Tiger Droppings comes back up.
I want to say that they were meltdown and alerting the whole game for LSU. Like I can't imagine what it is. They crashed the server, for sure. Definitely. So that's a live react to that one. And I had a feeling that this game could get out of hand one way or the other, and should be fun to overreact to it now and see what happens later on in the season.
Yes, but back to Northern Illinois and BC.
Yes, Northern Illinois, BC. All right, I have the quad box going. So again, I can only have like ESPN stuff in this quad box. I have my father-in-law, not necessarily a sports fan at all. I think he's like a Club America fan in like the Liga MX, soccer. So he's not necessarily a football fan. He is a fan of the just soccer and whatnot, but it may be like Cowboys fan, like kind of, I guess, because you have to, because you live in the valley. I guess that's what it is. So I'm trying to explain to him why Northern Illinois beating BC is a big deal. So I'm trying to get him to buy into this game.
So that's a hard sell, my man.
Not really. So I'm using information. I was like, hey, the team that's losing this game right now paid NIU $1.1 million to come play this game. And then since I have OU and Arkansas State below this, I was like, basically what is happening in the game below should be happening in the game above. So I'm explaining them that way, using some, sorry, Arkansas State and Butch Jones, but as a ULM fan, I'm not a big fan of Arkansas State because y'all beat us 13 years in a row. So again, I'm using that to it's juxtaposed on the screen. It's great. Northern Illinois is leading 21-7. It's 4th and 5. It's getting kind of late. 8 minutes and 54 seconds for Boston College. They put in their backup quarterback, and then he does this.
Why are you anything? Throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it away.
I saw that happen live because I'm a degenerate and watched a lot of this game.
Same.
When ACC Network is on, it just it draws me like a moth to a lamp, right?
I mean, Pitt was next. You had to wait to see
I was waiting for Pitt to come on because this game ended up going to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing, and I truly feel bad for BC's quarterback because he looks like he might be pretty good. The rest of Boston College is like a deep, deep hole of wild incompetence. They had 10 penalties for 93 yards. Most of them were procedural.
Jesus Christ.
It was so bad.
Yeah, Boston College fans not necessarily happy with this. I will say the 27-year veteran Rocky Lombardi pulled it out for the NIU Huskies. And I apologize for not beveling your logo earlier in the day that we did for some other big upsets. I did give you a belated bevel today on the timeline on Sunday, September 3rd.
This week we have, first off, our Patreon. Thank you for everyone who joined. We had a bunch of new people join during the games. It's great to see new faces in the Discord. For $5 American a month, you can join our Discord through Patreon. That gets you access to our weekly rankings debates, our live chat during games. You get to see the inner workings that happen during game days and outside of game days. If you join the Patreon, you also get access to the paywall Substack posts, which right now includes our potato chip ratio.
Yep.
Then we have our merch store, sickos-committee.sellfy.store. A bunch of new gear. We thank you for everyone that sent us pictures of you wearing your gear out in public. Let us know. Send us pictures. We're happy to retweet because it's always fun to see. We have the Message Board Geniuses podcast, who are our friends. They go to the crazy places like Tiger Droppings that when it wakes up, it's going to be an awful place, and they will talk about it.
Oh, they're just going to tweet, and they're just going to go #meltdown alert. And it's fun to see on Twitter because I am not going there. I will not go there. I will not venture to that site. I mean, again, like the amazing site that we get on these meltdown alerts, it's just it's fantastic, and I'm like, I don't need to go to the site. I'll let the message board geniuses talk about it on their podcast for me. And then I'll also just enjoy their tweets. So follow them also on Twitter. If you're looking for overreactions and taking things way too seriously,
that's basically what they do.
You know, we don't do that here. But that is their expertise, and they don't take it seriously. They enjoy, you know, they enjoy the lighter side of things. Like come on, calm down. It's okay.
They possess a constitution that we do not.
Yeah.
We have read the book of Genesis. We know what happens if you look directly at that.
Then we have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Videos are there. By videos, I mean our podcast.
Yeah.
Then
maybe when I travel this year, I may have a microphone. I may do some interviews. I'm not promising anything, but maybe in the future, if I travel to some games, I may try to do man on the street interviews that you see on, like, you know, Snapchat, where people say, hey, what's a red flag for you, or what type of Riz do you have, or something. I don't know. No.
I fucked up. I opened Tiger Droppings.
No, don't do that. No.
And I'm reading the titles of
Get away! Run away!
Brian Kelly sucks. When does women's basketball start?
You have opened the Ark of the Covenant. You are going to get
Don't do
melted.
this.
Don't do this.
Holy crap! When? Well, hold on. When does women's basketball? Hell yeah, LSU's women's basketball team.
Losing is one thing, but being completely embarrassed before the entire nation watching is another. How is this any different than the last 0-1 starts? And my favorite is everyone is lashing out because they are hurt and disappointed.
I mean, that's probably true. I mean, there's again, maybe some message boards are a bit of therapy also. So,
how do we bry out Brian Kelly? I don't want to hear about Brian Kelly ever again. Any positives? Question mark.
Yeah, you don't need to go on a message board to get your therapy. Just go on a podcast like Blue and me.
Yeah. Come on our podcast.
Oh, this is so fucking good. Okay, I'm gonna have to close this before I do.
Close it down. Shut it down. You're gonna get hooked.
We have our partnership with Home Field Apparel. As always, if 15% off of any shirt, if it's your first time ordering, that's yes, ha ha ha, yes, 3 ha's for 15% off. And then also, we have our Sickos Shirt Showdown.
Yeah.
We have a full 25% off a set of shirts that we're going to announce every week, hopefully.
Yeah.
For 2 upcoming games. Our first one was our 25% off for the awesome Garnet Gamecock shirt. Yeah. And Carolina Blue North Carolina shirt. And then this week we are having Cal and Auburn.
That's right. They play each other.
The scary Cal Bears we'll talk about in a little bit.
Definitely. But yeah, this merchandise that we have, they created a collection for us. So these shirts that they put in the collection are going to remain at 25% off for the entire season until they run out of stock of them. So you get your shirts for your showdown. So they're just going to run. And then once they're done, they're gone. So again, get those shirts. They're awesome shirts. We're picking great matchups. Cal at Auburn next week. We have one already set for week 3. Week 4, we're working on it right now. And we're just pairing up with some home field schools and giving a shirt showdown to get you in the mood for the game week. And again, 25% off these awesome shirts.
That's pretty good, y'all.
I mean, 25% off of one of these shirts. These shirts are like ridiculously soft. I also did something this week. I may do it again next week. I'm not sure if I'll do it again next weekend, but I was just like, basically, hey, pick my home field shirt for the game day. I had my Thick Six Mike Golick Jr. shirt. I had the Youngstown State Penguins that was golfing. The Wyoming shirt, which, again, fantastic. And then, the other one was Emaw, Every Man a Wildcat, Kansas State shirt. So, again, fantastic. I may do it again next week and just like throw out 4 shirts because I probably have about.
Don't say the number. Don't say the number out loud.
Don't count.
No, I'm gonna say again. I'm a sicko. I mean, I already tweeted. I think I have about 50 of them, but a couple of them are their core collections that don't have any logos, just team colors, which are awesome. Anyway, but yeah, it's it's a great deal. They're awesome shirts. They're super soft. Their designs last for like a really long time. Like I've had shirts that I've had for like 3 or 4 years, and like they're in great shape, really not faded at all. Which is just high quality stuff.
Use offer code committee on those shirts to get your 25% off. And we look forward to that whole thing happening this season. Iowa 24, Utah State 14.
Can you put in the yodeling music here?
Yeah, I got you.
Just do that. Yeah, do that. Yodeling.
So, first off, I got so much love for that. I'm so utterly happy for my cliffhanger animation.
Yeah.
But y'all, I this is the worst defense they're going to play all year.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
And they got 24.
Uh-huh. This is the answer to the question of how do you win and still lose?
I was sure they were going to try to kick. Why don't you go for the extra 3 at the end? Kick the garbage time.
I don't know. It's just like
why did they put the offense in? They scored a lot in the like first and second, and then they just put the whole damn thing in neutral. What?
It was the first opening drive touchdown pass to start a season for Iowa since 1991. Yeah. Holy shit.
That's all I could tweet on that when I saw that graphic and captured the graphic was just since 1991, question mark, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. That's all I could do. I was like, what? 91? I mean,
feels like 91.
Feels like 91. And then we're up 14-0, like lightning quick.
And then just fucking hit it in neutral.
And they were just, they hit the emergency brake. Like Kirk was like, this is too much. You're going to tire out my defense.
Have we considered that Iowa, being black and yellow, much like school buses, are just sort of inexorably drawn to parking the bus?
I mean,
so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I don't think McNamara was 100%, but still, I mean, he's like right away. Like they hit, and we're like, oh my god, finally Iowa offense, and then all of a sudden it was just like, okay, did they?
14? File not found. It was just file not found.
It was 14-0 halfway through the first quarter.
Yep, and then just bumped it into neutral.
I don't know, man. Shout out to Utah State. They fought hard. I'm just going to give you that.
They had more yards than Iowa did.
Well, I mean, that's not necessary. Yeah, they had.
Yeah, like so did I.
No,
I think I had more steps on Saturday.
Maybe. Yeah, but no. I mean, shout out to Utah State. I mean, they struggled, and it's hard against Iowa. I mean, they went 3-and-out. But then they got a field goal, and then the first half did not go well for Utah State. They really couldn't get anything going except like their 16-play, 54-yard drive for a field goal.
Yeah,
that took 10 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yes,
which was great.
Tantric football.
I mean, that's the good stuff there. And I mean, Utah State made it a 10-point game, with like a minute 36 left in the game. I don't understand. It's 11 seconds left or whatever. Kick the field goal.
Get ahead. Get ahead of the timing.
Get ahead of the. I wonder if like that got vetoed by Kirk. Is like if you were going to score more, you should have done it earlier. And I don't know if there's this
sad
weird
field
dynamic.
Goals for Brian.
No, none. I don't know.
This is such the dad thing of like.
If you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it the right way.
Yeah, if you didn't pack snacks in the car, we're not fucking buying any.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. Sorry. You had your chance to eat your dinner earlier and you didn't. So no, you don't get
bedtime snack.
No dessert for you, Brian Ferentz.
We're going on to East Carolina 3, Michigan 30.
Can we start this with a moment of silence?
Yeah. Sorry. Hold on.
For the long dear departed Jim Harbaugh. Because all the plays were in memory of Jim Harbaugh. We're all going, is he dead? No, he's at home trying to avoid the television. Or he's sitting at home screaming at the television.
Yeah, what do we think Jim Harbaugh did with his day off?
I'm torn between like worked in the lawn to avoid the game, like just mowed the lawn angrily. Or
I'm imagining him mowing that thing down to dust.
Or he watched the game and was just like screaming at it.
Or just like the teeth clench that
No.
just got clenchier and
Here
clenchier.
you go. This is what he did. He mowed the lawn and he was listening to the radio call in his ears
Yes.
while he's mowing the lawn.
Yes.
He's gardening. He's outside pulling weeds from his
The most
garden.
vicious weeding you've ever heard.
I mean, seriously, Harbaugh's got the gardening gloves on, but the gardening gloves are actually like wide receiver gloves.
Oh yeah, that's actually, you know what? 100% they are.
Yep.
100% they are.
He
Because
has-
he's not buying extra sets for guards.
He's wearing the same hat he'd wear on the sideline. He even has his whistle on.
He's in khakis too.
He's got his khakis. He's got everything. He's got the wide receiver gloves on, and he is gardening while listening to the radio call of the game. That's in my mind. That's what he did.
Oh, like, and every time something goes wrong, like he stands up, he throws down his trowel, he starts marching like in the general direction of the stadium, and his wife's standing there. She's like, "No, back to the raised beds." You watch him like stomping back to the beds.
I like the idea that he's being grounded by his wife too. That nope. During this game, you've got to pull weeds, sir. East Carolina did kick a sad field goal and preserve their non-shutout streak. I'm fine with this. You got a streak, go for the sad field goal here.
So I tweeted about the sad field goal, and then I put like sad face. It was like sad field goal because it's on our merch. It says never kick a sad field goal.
But I think
and so it's like, I was like, should I have tweeted this? I was like, should I have celebrated that East Carolina keeps their non-shutout streak alive? I mean, I don't know if I should have phrased it somewhat better, and that's why I was like, okay. I mean, Florida did this last year, and I gave Florida grief for doing that against Oregon State in the Las Vegas Bowl. Apparently, East Carolina has done this before. They were down 58-0 to NC State, and they kicked the field goal towards the end of the game to avoid being shut out then, too. So a lot of NC State fans were in our mentions again, along with the talk about the nuclear power plant stuff. So it's weird what makes NC State fans come out. But I love them. NC State fans are great. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of torn on this one. I'm like, keep the streak alive, or like how far does the streak have to stretch back to keep it alive? I mean, then you get in some weird gray area. I don't know.
This is the platonic ideal of a sad field goal. I want this clip as the definition of sad field goal in Urban Dictionary. Just a link to the YouTube clip of this field goal. No text. Just go watch it.
I assume sad field goal in Urban Dictionary is something very different.
Fuck, I'm gonna go look.
But
you know, like when two dudes and one girl are there, and then someone throws a sock between them.
Yeah. Just send me a copy of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and just record a very quiet piano solo at like 40 beats per minute of Mad World.
There is no sad field goal on Urban Dictionary. There is a inappropriate definition of field goal on Urban Dictionary that I will not read.
I can imagine.
I'm sure.
I can imagine. We move on to Pitt 45, Wofford 7.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm not going to play the whole thing here, but you do need to go see the Pitt TikTok of them trying to guess who was the first person to this? What team was it? The Titans?
The Titans did it. So Tennessee Titans did it, and they had folks in the middle of Nashville try to name NFL mascots that the Titans are playing on their schedule. And so a couple of other teams have done it, but Pitt decided to do this on their campus with students that attend Pitt. So this one was
my favorite by far is the FSU Aerials. That one might be my favorite.
That was, well, I mean, my favorite is definitely the Boston College Warhawks. Boston College mentioned, but yes, I still don't understand that anime, but whatever.
Pick Girl, how do you feel about this game?
I actually missed most of this game. I watched like the first quarter and a little bit of change, and then I had to go have a social life. But yeah, I have no complaints. The first drive was not good. I was not feeling good after the first drive, but then Phil felt a little bit more comfortable and started to look a little bit better. So I saw some clips afterwards looking better. I think that we were likely like intentionally very vanilla because we play Cincinnati next week. So like whatever, we did what we were supposed to do. I have nothing to complain about as far as I'm aware.
That's right. You play the Cincinnati Claws next.
So then, for the Sickos game of the week, Cal at North Texas. I went to this one, and guys, I'm so glad you harangued me to go to this one because it was so fucking fun. First off, the state I haven't actually been to North Texas's newer stadium, despite the fact that I graduated from this school because it was just opening as I was getting out of like I stopped taking classes. I was like done with my PhD, so I didn't go. The stadium's really cool and intimate. Like I like it a lot. Press box is very nice. I sat next to the Cal medical spotter and someone from the AP Press who was very not interested in what I did. Surprise, surprise. But thank you, North Texas folks. Had a great time there. I did, however, get to watch Cal just absolutely unload on North Texas. This game was close until it wasn't. Cal 58, North Texas 21.
Ooh.
This is the last time Cal scored 58 was in 2016. And it just so happened that their OC at the time is their current OC as well. Jake Spavital took a detour after he left Cal. He went someplace else I can't remember. But then became the head coach at Texas State, where he refused to recruit.
I thought he just took a gap year and was just like wandering Europe.
Yeah,
was that not?
No gap year. Texas State was the gap several years where he was just like, I'm just not going to recruit Texas. And then he got his job back at Cal. And this happened again. This was Cal's first ACC game as an ACC member. So I did resist the urge to turn around to the Cal guys behind me and go, that's that ACC speed y'all are talking about, right?
But you tweeted it out a lot.
But I did tweet that shit out because I couldn't say it in person, but I'd say it online.
I'm gonna say it online.
Go
I'm
ACC.
right in the booth with you.
This is also North Texas's first game as part of the American Conference. So as soon as I walked in, to get up to the press box, you have to also go up with the like with the elevator that goes up to the suites as well. And so I'm standing there, I'm wearing a Colorado School of Mines shirt, trying not to be a total homer in the box. And some North Texas money alums come in, which I didn't know that was a thing, but it is. And they came in and they were like, oh, is that Colorado School of Mines? What is, I've never heard of that before. Like, oh, I just have a collection of weird shirts like this. I said, well, but I went to North Texas. And their response was just so confused. Like, that's nice. One of those. So that's how I went up to the box. It was great. Had a wonderful time. Got to watch Cal just absolutely go crazy here. Cal, 660 yards to North Texas's 226. And it felt that way the whole game. Cal's quarterback, Ben Finley, threw for 275. This Cal team ran for an equal number and passed for an equal number. That's pretty crazy. This is also, of course, North Texas's first year under the new head coach. So this was going to be a little of a slow start anyways. Last thing, shout out to the North Texas band, the Mean Green Brigade. They are amazing. They sounded great. I took a picture of their front ensemble, their pit. They had like a dozen marimbas out there.
Were we doing synthetic bars or the rosewood bars?
I don't know. I don't know if they have a set of synthetics they take outside, if they just take the nice ones out. I feel
geez.
I don't know. They don't take the real nice ones out. Also, 25 sousaphones. That solves a lot of like band like ensemble balance problems. If you just have 25 sousaphones, it's amazing what that fixes.
25.
It was.
Good Lord.
There's a lot of bass. And also thank you to the Mean Green Brigade directors who let them wear shorts and polos and hats because they would have fucking cooked out there.
It was 100. I think there was the La Tech SMU game where somebody's shoe was like fried off or whatever.
The sole melted off.
Yeah, sole melted off. Insane.
Cool.
Then we go on to Syracuse, a bunch. Colgate, 0.
That's right.
Syracuse now leads the series.
Woo!
That's right. Finally, they had to win 17 straight to take the lead in the series, and they've done it. Folks. They've done it.
This got so boring that they started interviewing Otto the Orange.
Yeah,
and it looks like Otto is being, he looks like he's being confronted about having paying for his girlfriend's apartment with like federal money.
Otto, blink twice if you do not want to be participating in this interview.
Holy shit, the Art But Sports post for this is amazing. I just saw it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. It's fucking amazing. God, he's so good at what he does.
Yeah,
We need to take up on his offer one of these days. He offered to go on like Twitch with us and do stuff like this in real time.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be wonderful. I would do that in a
love to see
heartbeat.
like into the process of this.
wanna give a
He just
shout out.
knows that much art. He doesn't search it.
Just knows
He
things.
Yeah.
knows it.
I want to give a shout out to the person that actually interviewed Otto, and it's Marilyn Payne.
Having to do a lot of the heavy lifting since Otto doesn't talk.
Well, I mean, Otto doesn't talk, and she did amazing doing this. It was phenomenal. I'm watching it because again, it's in the quad box. It's only like ESPN stuff I can throw on. So, Syracuse Colgate's in the bottom left for me at the time, and I was just like, this was just a hilarious interview, and my 6-year-old loved it. The in-law father-in-law was just like, what is going on? What is college football? Why are they interviewing a mascot?
Because we gotta fill time.
I couldn't even explain that. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why they're interviewing Otto, but the game's like, Syracuse like 60 something, Colgate maybe 7, I think.
0.
Oh, they didn't score. Okay,
They blanked him. We move on to the NFL Network. Monroe 17, Army 13. 1-0, baby.
the Warhawks did it.
Monroe.
I mean,
One in a row.
One in a
one
row.
in a
One in a
row.
row.
I mean,
One
we
in a
gotta
row.
celebrate it, baby, because I mean, we don't know how many times this is gonna happen this year, and honestly, I don't really know how ULM won this game.
They were about to fuck this up.
No, honestly, they probably shouldn't have been in this position, and I really don't know what happened in this case at all. There was some weirdness going on. Again, the game's on the NFL Network. I'm like, okay, this is weird already. Then the power wasn't working in Malone Stadium at all, so the stadium didn't have any power. ULM scoreboard did not work the entire game, but it did finally come back within 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
How are they keeping track of the clock then?
It was manually by the
Right.
referees on the field with stopwatches.
Oh God.
Yes.
Oh,
So this
no.
was like extreme old school, and it's great because like you're playing Army, and you're just going really old school here, which Army was running like the triple out of the shotgun, which
was weird to see.
strange as hell. And it's like Army's new offense where they try to pass. They had some like weird RPOs. They tried to run on the outside. I didn't know what was going on Army's offense wise, and they weren't like really low blocking, and there wasn't any cut blocks, so it was very strange. But that's due to the changes in the rules. You can't really do that anymore on the outside. So it was a very strange game to begin with. No power in the stadium. The announcers announced in like the second quarter at some point. I don't know what time in the second quarter it was because we didn't have a clock and I did not have a stopwatch. But the announcers stated that they were using backup power in the stadium, but the backup power may run out at some point in time. I had no idea what that meant. And I was like, what was going to happen with the game? Like, were they not going to be able to broadcast it? I mean, what was going on? But I don't know. The power came back on, and thankfully, the worst case scenario of Monroe did not occur.
So, Kamish, why did the power go out?
Somebody released some balloons at the tailgate, and it cut power. It cut the power. Like, it hit power lines near Malone Stadium. So that's right. Fun row, baby.
Some visiting Nebraska fan
took
the whole stadium
totally
down.
did it. They couldn't throw the red balloons at the Nebraska game, so they decided to go to Monroe, Louisiana, and throw them inside the power lines, taking out the power of Malone Stadium, which is ridiculous.
99 Luftballons.
Mm-hmm. No, just one. Ein Luftballon. It's all it takes is one.
Now I'm imagining Terry Bowden singing that at karaoke. This was like a really, really miserable day in Monroe. It was like 90 some odd degrees.
It was so
and
hot.
It was 100% humidity. And Terry Bowden's wearing his dress shirt on the sideline with a tie, which is ridiculous. And
the most moisture wicking fabric imaginable.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Oxford dress shirt.
Oxford dress shirt.
No undershirt.
No undershirt.
No undershirt.
Just glued to him with sweat, which is just Terry. Terry, wear an undershirt. I mean, it's probably still would have been glued to him now. I have no idea. It was so muggy in Monroe.
Some say it is grafted to him to this
It
day.
could be. Who knows? Hopefully Terry was able to take that off. But at some point, Army would get close, but then they couldn't punch it in. I'm like, okay, maybe ULM has a chance. ULM gets a field goal. They're up 3-0. And then my head, I'm like, hey, maybe ULM could take this game into halftime with a lead. Like, this would be nice. As soon as I thought that, the next play, ULM threw a pick six and Army took the lead. Jesus Christ. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I get my hopes up. And then that happens, and then the game shifts. Army gets all the way up 13-3. We go to halftime, and it's on the NFL Network. So the halftime show, which I love these. I love these NFL Network halftime shows. It was a breakdown of NFL wide receivers that you should pick for your fantasy team. No mention of the game they're broadcasting at all. Nothing. And it's the Army. It's not just ULM and another Sunbelt team or whatever. It's the United States Army, and you're talking about fantasy wide receivers for your NFL team, which, I mean, I got some ideas on who to draft first if I play fantasy this year. So.
Well, I mean, maybe they were thinking the Army, think about the draft. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what happened here, but the quarterback that they had started for ULM, they benched him because he threw 2 horrible picks. And that's how Army took their 13-3 lead. They switched QBs, and then ULM busted a 62-yard run out of nowhere. And then it was 13-10, and I'm like, what? Okay, maybe ULM's got a shot. But then the backup quarterback throws a pass in the end zone, which Tyrone Howell made an amazing catch out of 7,000 amazing catches this weekend, one-handed, one foot.
Oh yeah, just insane. Yep.
Insane this weekend. And honestly, if they didn't rule it a TD on the field, I didn't think there was any way that they would overturn it and make it a catch. But since they called it a TD on the field, they had to stay with this call. And then ULM was able to hang on and win the game 17-3. Your Louisiana Monroe Warhawks are 1-0. They are 1-0. I was ecstatic that this happened. I was hoping for a miracle to beat Army, because last year ULM went to West Point and just got ran over. It was bad. Their fullback just barreled through everybody, but ULM could maintain it this year, and I'm probably going to thank the NCAA for changing rules here. But since ULM won, the side of the bet is that I had to write a limerick about Terry Bowden. I wrote 2, which I don't necessarily know. I don't necessarily know if I followed the appropriate rules of the limericks. So we'll go with the number 1 and sound off in the Discord or the Twitter or whatever, whichever limerick you'd like better, it's fine. Limerick number 1. Terry Bowden is Louisiana Monroe's coach. His stellar record is above reproach. The Warhawks were down 13-3, but Army's defense parted like the Red Sea. ULM decided it was their win to poach. I don't necessarily know if that's good or not.
It's okay.
I'll give you points for the rhyme scheme.
Okay.
We're way off on meter.
Off of the meter. Right.
Okay.
So that one off of the meter. So I was trying to get the meter down better for the second limerick, which again, I am not a skilled, English major, nowhere near this whatsoever. Here we go. So number 2, limerick number 2. Louisiana Monroe's head coach goes by the name of Terry. He sweat so much through his shirt, it was kind of scary. Army was leading Louisiana Monroe, but their offense hit a plateau. The Warhawks fought back and won, making the crowd merry.
We got to get you on some meter here.
Okay.
The rhyme scheme is good.
Okay.
We got to get you some meter.
All right. Again,
Yeah.
So
It's a patter form,
all
so
right,
we've got to
I
get
gotta
that.
do
we gotta
the,
get
like
that
I was
pattern.
trying to count syllables and it just was not working for me.
I got you.
I tried.
I give you, hey, you know what? Solid B.
Okay. I'll take that.
Solid
That's
B. These good degrees. You're fine.
I'd be happy with that in my English class. I'll take a B in English any day.
Now, Beth, tell us what happened at Happy Valley.
So a couple of things happened that were very nice in Happy Valley. I went to my first tailgate
There you go.
What?
ever.
How?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Explain.
I live 2 hours away from from Mountaineer Field, and my family was never a tailgating family. Like, we went in, we used to go to a brunch that was actually in the stadium.
Ooh.
We would, yeah, it was fun. And then they made lots of rules about like where you could be in relationship to Croots, and then our brunch went away. And then we had a sweetheart deal going with the manager of Applebee's, who let us park all of our many vehicles, because I have a million family members, in exchange for us always eating at Applebee's. Applebee's switched to new management this past year, so like now we're kind of scrambling, and I think we may actually begin to tailgate, maybe. But
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
I've never been to a tailgate. It's just not a thing that we did.
How was it?
I went to I had a lot of fun. This was an enjoyable thing. I understand now why people do this. And I mean, I ate better than I ate at Applebee's, so that was nice. Applebee's, not a sponsor. So maybe never a sponsor. So, and so and it was nice to go to a game that was less than an hour away from my house. That is where the nice ended. This is the same team as last year. I've seen this team. I saw this team before, and now I get to see this team again. Only this time I got to watch it lose very badly to Penn State. I will say a couple of things. First of all, I am absolutely vindicated in everything I've ever said about Beaver Stadium on this podcast.
Oh, you have the video you sent
Yes.
from
yes.
like the walls on the bathroom falling in on the stalls.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah, that's like the
Yes.
shadiest
Yeah.
bathroom I've ever seen, and I've been in the bathroom at the O, RIP. Like,
Same. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. This is the worst public restroom I have been in. At least the ones that I've been in that have been dirty or, like full of passed out hookers or whatever, were structurally sound. The best part about, so I shot this video. The video that I shot has the, if something is wrong with this restroom, let us know image.
Mhm.
And then I pan to the right, where the right wall of the bathroom stall is not attached to anything. It's just swinging in the breeze. When I walked into this stall, the lady before me was like, just so you know, the walls of this are kind of weird. And I'm like, kind of weird. Okay.
That's so good. Oh my god.
There's lots of ways you could have described this space, but kind of weird is doing some
That's
work.
what you want in a bathroom, is being kind of weird.
Yeah, I was in the west end zone at Beaver Stadium. So and all of the things you've heard about Beaver Stadium, like the upper deck shake like crazy. Yeah, it absolutely does. I would never, ever, 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 ever want to sit up there with a bunch of Wisconsin fans. You die. But yeah, it's an absolute dump. And it is hilarious to me that the Big Ten is like, look at all the money we have. And I can tell you one place it is absolutely not going. It's like, what if we just make it bigger and we don't maintain the things that we have? Look, I get it. If over the course of a football season, your stadium is likely to break down. Okay, that's fine. This was the home opener. You had the whole off season to fix this shit. Why is this broken?
Yeah, this isn't like, game 10. This isn't,
No.
weeks in. It, takes. Yeah.
Does PennDOT maintain Beaver Stadium?
It would answer some questions, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So in addition to this being an inescapable fire trap, it also is just terribly maintained. So yes, I continue to hate Beaver Stadium and will hate them forever, I guess. But yes, Penn State absolutely deserved to win the game. I'm glad I got a fun video of the squirrel, which ran right at me. So that was fun. If you didn't see it, there was a squirrel and it went scampering through the end zone, and the Mountaineer made a half-hearted attempt to catch it, but really it just sort of released it into the wild behind the Penn State bench. So that was wonderful. I had a wonderful time looking at that. The really frustrating thing about a game like this is when your team is not very good, and West Virginia is not very good, you hope that they will at least be fun, and they were not fun. We attempted a little bit of fun at the very, very end of the game, which I left before that even happened because I wanted to beat traffic.
Oh, yeah.
I had my dad with me.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to go home. He'd been in the sun all day.
I'll tell you about my dad. I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but it was the Super Bowl, Saints and Colts, and it was 2.5 minutes left. He's starting to walk out. As Tracy Porter intercepted Peyton Manning, he's walking down the stairs. Like, he knew it was going to happen. He read the play just like Tracy Porter. So shout out to my dad if you're listening to this. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I guess after spending an entire game where West Virginia did not attempt a single 40+ yard pass
Yep.
at all, they're like, let's open up the playbook. When do you open up the playbook? When you're trying to decide if you're going to go for 2, down 18 with less than 5 minutes to go in
And
the
then you
game.
do the fun like circly shit.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
was
the
that?
Kansas City.
Were
That was
they
the Kansas
summoning
City
Satan?
Chiefs play.
What was that?
I hope they were summoning Satan, especially if he knows how to coach offense.
Wow.
Ugh. Yeah, no, this was a terrible, terrible mess. And unfortunately, it was a terrible, predictable mess. The defense basically just votes present. They just sort of show up and they stand around and they don't really do very much. And then eventually they get very sleepy because the offense somehow manages to do less. And then nothing good happens. I can't even call us fun and sickos. We're not sickos. We're just boring.
I'm sorry.
I want more for us. I hope at least that the brawl is interesting. Like, can we at least be feisty for the brawl since we couldn't manage this? This is all that I ask. Also, just sort of apropos of nothing, if you're keeping score at home, we could get rid of Neil Brown for the low, low price of $4 million. No. Look at that. $16.7 million. We're trapped forever. Trapped forever in this hell.
It's a good thing West Virginia is right now a very financially stable institution.
Yeah, that's really
making
good.
notoriously
Like-
good decisions right now as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure that cutting all of the foreign language departments will definitely save enough money. Oh, wait, the Mountaineer Athletic Club pays for this. Nothing means anything ever. Ugh. Moving on.
Illinois 30, Toledo 28. Illinois escapes by the skin of their fucking teeth here.
Poor
Seriously.
Toledo.
This felt like the game that was gonna go wonky. Toledo was like in charge up until about the third quarter.
Yeah.
The first half was all Toledo.
Toledo was doing great, and I mean, I was thinking that they were going to put it away. And then they scored the touchdown to take the lead. They missed the 2-point conversion to give themselves a cushion, a field goal cushion, and they fight to get Illinois to 4th and 4, and they bring an incredible blitz. The quarterback for Illinois, Luke Altmaier, just like whatever. He was like, he like ducked to avoid the blitz and just threw it up in the general area of a wide receiver who made a catch over the Toledo cornerback in man-to-man coverage, which, I mean, sometimes that happens. And basically that saved Illinois' butt, and they were able to drive down and get like an easy field goal for the win, which I feel so bad for Toledo because it kind of felt like they should have won this one. But again, when you're the MAC team going to a Big Ten team on week 1, like Toledo almost pulled it out. So gutted for them. But on the other side, like Illinois, it's like they're all like, woo. You know, Burt was kind of sweaty, which, you know, I got a little picture there in the Google Doc of sweaty Burt. But yeah, definitely, he's wearing a quarter zip. I'm like, I don't even know what the temperature was in Illinois, but yeah,
It wasn't quarter zip weather. I guarantee that.
I don't necessarily know if it was or wasn't in Champaign, but that was one of those that Illinois was kind of lucky to get that win. Our heart goes out to Toledo. They probably, I wish they would have pulled it off. But, you know, again, on the other edge, you know, Illinois, lucky to get away with it. And again, week 1 is known for weirdness, it's our hardest week to predict which games are the most sickos, quote unquote, which are the most unconventionally appealing. And that was a lot of fun. It was fun to watch it, and we were just so close, Toledo.
Well, let's talk about weird. Wyoming 35, Texas Tech 33. This was a goddamn banger.
Vindicated in my interest in this game. I am so pleased
yes.
that this game was a banger.
Went
God.
to two overtimes.
Oh man.
We got the Wyoming trainer with the wonderful mustache into mutton chops.
Oh,
We
God,
got the athletic assistants dashing out to pick up the pylons at the end of the game because the crowd was rushing the field.
No, you were just like, I don't know if it was you or somebody else tweeted, just like, shout out to the fan that ran on the field.
It wasn't me,
and stole the pylons. And I was like, well, hold on. I replayed the video a couple of different times and like Zapruder filmed it. And I was like, oh
lanyard.
crap. There's a lanyard. So it seems like it was equipment staff for that, which I was able to tweet underneath it. I was just like, okay. So now I'm like, there's a designated pylon person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how much are each one of these freaking pylons? So I start researching, and I'm using Google, which is just a matter of fact, Google sucks now.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh, yeah.
so bad. It's awful. Like, I couldn't find any articles that are recent. I found like there was a pylon shortage in 2021. I don't even know if that's still ongoing, but that kind of explains why they have a pylon guy if there's a pylon shortage. Like, okay. Then I'm trying to figure out how much each one of these pylons are worth, because I know some of the pylons have cameras in them. And they could be, you know, from the CBS broadcast of this game. They could be from, you know, the athletic department that, you know, Wyoming could be making payments on these pylons. You know, like they you know, rent to own the pylons. I have no idea. But I found like they could cost from anywhere from like $350 for just the camera in the pylon itself, to like $3,500 a piece. I messaged Matt Brown on Twitter, and he's gonna get some more information if we can't find out anything else by then. So hopefully we'll find some more information on Twitter from Matt Brown Extra Points.
Foya Saxa.
Texas Tech goes up by 17 in the first quarter.
17-0.
And it just feels like an absolute blowout. And then by the middle of the third quarter, it's tied. Wyoming crawls back, takes the lead. Texas Tech ties it at the very, with like less than a minute left, kicks the field goal, sends it to overtime. And then we see some absolutely beautiful OT.
I mean, the OT was great. And like both teams were just like, okay, we can't pass this. So they were like running with their quarterback.
Yeah, Andrew Peasley, the QB for Wyoming,
yeah,
with some absolutely beautiful moves.
I mean, he's running. I think it's, I can't even say, like, is it Show or Shaw?
Tyler Shaw.
Okay, for Texas Tech. And I mean, really, just a back and forth battle. Just such a great battle. The atmosphere in Laramie, every time I watch a game in Wyoming, which I'm the one that tweeted this, like, I want to go to Wyoming and watch a game. Like, I want to go to Laramie and watch a game. The turf, they just redid the turf, and it is so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
The Wyoming turf is so beautiful. And in double OT, Wyoming's down. They need a touchdown. It's like 4th and 7. So Texas Tech brings the house, and there's a free blitzer on the quarterback, Peasley. And I don't necessarily know how he got the ball off before the blitz made it there.
No clue.
And I keep watching that replay. It's like he does like a little side, like he just moves his body a little bit to the side to try to avoid the blitzer and get the pass off to, I guess, like the late releasing tight end. And he gets the touchdown there. And then they do the read option for the 2-point conversion. Just an amazing win. The Wyoming fans rushed the field. It was just such a great game. I think one of our followers, or somebody that we follow, mentioned, like, is it me or is it just really, really late at night? Or do Wyoming's goalposts feel like super thick?
Mm.
And then I found out, again, you know, I guess we're journalists or whatever, but they're reinforced to deal with high winds at the elevation.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that leads to more doinks in Wyoming.
Didn't Wyoming have the weird one last year where the ball landed
on the very top of the
They had a
So
sitter.
now I'm wondering.
like at the top,
or they bounced like right off the top of one of the posts.
right off the top of the goalpost. Yeah, and then, you know, Texas Tech had a nice doink, you know, to not take the lead, which is fantastic. So what a fantastic game. What a week 1 atmosphere. P5s, please go to fun G5s. I don't care if you risk a loss. Go do it. It's a great thing for college football. Again, do it. Thank you, Texas Tech, for going out. You know, again, phenomenal atmosphere, phenomenal game. We loved it so much.
We're getting late, so let's go through some of these kind of quickly. Maine at FIU. Black Bears almost stole this one.
Whew.
FIU ends up winning 14-12. Incarnate Word at UTEP. UTEP wins this one with their great throwbacks. I'd forgotten also that Zach Calzada was now at Incarnate Word. Seems like a
Yeah.
good place for him.
The first time that I saw, I was like, Zach Calzada, what? He's at Incarnate Word? Like, the only reason I found out is because he threw an interception. They tweeted his name. And I'm like, oh god. So A&M Auburn, former A&M, former Auburn QB, now at Incarnate Word, throwing an interception to UTEP. And UTEP, sweet helmets. I don't know if you saw these.
New Mexico State 58, Western Illinois 21. New Mexico State is back on track. Diego Pavia 15 for 19, 306, 2 TDs, feeling good. Then Idaho State at San Diego State. San Diego State wins this one, but Idaho State held them pretty close a lot of the game.
Yeah, I don't know how Idaho State stayed in this game because both teams were just like turning over the ball tremendously. It was ridiculous. I really don't know how Idaho State stayed in this game. Idaho State was 1-11 last year. 1-11. And they kept forcing fumbles. Idaho State fumbles, interceptions. There was a lot of turnovers on both sides. The main thing that we took out of this is that, you know, we follow Idaho State football, so thank you so much, Idaho State. They were tweeting from a Reddit stream to post highlights.
And then after that, when they got caught, they started posting like direct videos from like a YouTube
or like a
YouTube TV.
No, it was a Hulu account.
It was Hulu.
But
But forgot to move their mouse fast enough.
Yes.
So you could still see like the pause and play things.
Exactly.
Just how I upload clips.
I did want to say shout out. You know, they only lost by 8. Cody Hawkins, the head coach. That's right. Dan Hawkins' son is a head coach. Cody Hawkins, former Colorado QB, is the head coach of Idaho State.
You know where Dan Hawkins is, right?
That's right. UC Davis. They play later this year too. In conference.
Ooh.
Father son later this year. That was also in the SCWTF man of the Big Sky preview in our Sicko Substack. But they tried to get an onside kick since they made it within 8, like 30 seconds left. Dan Hawkins used his last 2 timeouts at the game when it wouldn't have mattered when San Diego State was trying to kneel. So that was a little bit of the clock commander of the week nominee.
Then we have our battle for the real Mardi Gras. Tulane took all that Mardi Gras stuff pretty personally and absolutely handed it to South Alabama.
Yeah. You angered the entire New Orleans metro area or anybody from New Orleans. When you say you're the home of the real Mardi Gras or whatever, you angered the entire city of New Orleans, and Tulane kind of took it out on you a little bit, 37-17. They took that personally. Our friends at Fear the Wave blog, it said final Tulane 37, South Alabama 17. Nice parade tonight by crew defeat. Shout out there. Also, South Alabama tweeted the final score, and it says like final 17-37. The Fox News affiliate, Fox 8 out of New Orleans, replied to the South Alabama tweet, says home of Mardi Gras. Like just again, you got local news stations angry at you, Mobile in South Alabama, for putting that on your helmets. Also, shout out to the random Tulane fan that had the suit on.
That is.
He had like a blue wig, a cape, a megaphone, just
supposed
amazing.
To be Angry Wave.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
He's supposed to be Angry Wave.
He is the bastard child of Thing 1, Thing 2, and Freakazoid. Mm-hmm. And I killed the commish.
I almost spit up my water. You almost made me choke. Oh my god.
UCLA 27, Coastal Carolina 13. This was not great for Coastal. Grayson McCall went 27 for 42, 271. Just not a great day. I watched most of this game as it went on to the night, and UCLA took control as Coastal just floundered. UTSA at Houston was not the pointsy game. Like we said, it was going to be pointsy. It ended up being 17-14. And UTSA gets screwed on I'm going to have to say this right, because there was a bad spot at the end of this game that gave Houston the win and kept UTSA from tying it up at the end. And there are a lot of opinions about this right now.
Yeah.
This just adds to the spiciness of this rivalry.
I hope they keep playing this game.
I really hope they do.
This is like the I-10 rivalry game, because it's like I-10, it's like 3 hours, and then in the middle of it is the original Buc-ee's. So, I mean, maybe the Battle of Buc-ee's. Let's do it where the original Buc-ee's is in Luling, Texas, where it originated. Just keep playing Houston and UTSA, keep doing it. I mean, both
Jeff
of you.
Jeff Traylor was losing his shit at the end. Like
Jeff Traylor was livid.
So
not on the
angry.
sidelines. He was actually on the field by the the ref's face.
Oh, like he was out there where they were measuring. Like he was in the shit.
In their face. I don't even know.
Meat motherfucking meat.
Yeah. He was furious, which I know a bunch of Roadrunner fans because I live in Roadrunner land. Furious at the spot there, and these two get together. It's a close game. It's a fierce game. It's got the makings of really, 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 really good rivalry.
Texas State 42, Baylor 31. Holy shit, Texas State!
Yo.
We talked about GJ Kinney coming in from Incarnate Word, Texas State. I had been very high on this team for a while now, and this was, I loved this.
I still don't know how. Again, I don't know how this happened. I don't know.
So you know who Texas State's quarterback was for this.
That's right.
This is TJ Finley. TJ Finley of Auburn and LSU.
Oh. That's right. Maybe the Tiger wasn't the right type of cat for TJ Finley. He was more of a bobcat person.
And so he goes in there. He throws 22 for 30, 300 yards, 3 TDs, 1 sack. This is going to be a real fucking spicy team this year, and I am all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I like spicy Texas State. I want this.
They play UTSA next week, so stay tuned.
It's going to be about 40 miles of highway is going to be a fucking bloodbath.
Right. Also, there's a Buc-ee's in between them too, so yeah, that's right.
That Buc-ee's is in New Braunfels, right?
That's right. So San Marcos is like New Braunfels, and then San Antonio. Buc-ee's right in the middle. I think there was a proposed rivalry trophy for Texas State and UTSA. It was an HEB shopping cart.
I like that.
But a golden HEB shopping cart. I think somebody did that on the UTSA boards. And if that hasn't happened, can we make it happen, please?
Oregon State, this is today. Oregon State 42, San Jose State 17. DJ Uyangalele, 20 for 25, 240 yards, 3 TDs. You know what? He's enjoying his West Coast life already, and I love it.
Yeah, I was wrong about the geographical cure not being right for him. Good for him.
Good. I mean, Oregon State looked great. And, you know, how many points did that San Jose State got like a garbage touchdown with like 4 seconds left, I think. And how many points did San Jose State score against USC? 28, right?
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah. So now it's like, maybe Oregon State's got a better defense than USC. I would think that probably is the case. Yeah, I would probably say that.
I just had the realization that Colorado USC is probably going to be really, really dumb.
Oh my God!
Oh boy!
Oh, so dumb. It's going to be great. I can't wait for that. That'll be a lot of
Ohio State. A few, Indiana fewer than that. This game just felt like it never got out of first year, and it's hard to even like describe how it went. Only thing we did know is that we did find out finally who Indiana's kicker is.
We did finally find out who Indiana's kicker is. I just want to note for the first week thing, Iowa scored more points than Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yep. This particular game was causing a great deal of excitement in the Penn State tailgate that I was hanging out at, thanks to plaintextsports.com, the only scoreboard I could possibly load in the
Happy Valley,
in Happy Valley with 50,000 of my closest friends. But everyone was very excited until my phone finally updated about an hour later.
So Beaver Stadium has poor cell reception too? Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's really weird. Well, how long did it take me to send you that squirrel video?
Oh, forever. Yeah.
Forever.
They all came through. Yeah, for a while, the only thing Beth could access was the Discord. And so we were getting, play-by-play
No, it wasn't even the Discord. I could only access our chat.
It was just our DM. Today's brunch, Rutgers 24, Northwestern 7. Northwestern's going to be bad this year. And Rutgers just like ran them over.
There was a very impressive catch during this game. It was like the only thing I saw, but it was up there with the one from the Minnesota game.
Yeah, that was Rutgers' opening touchdown. And that was an amazing toe tap again for Rutgers.
That was Ian Strong.
It was great.
It was an amazing catch, which we had a ton. Texas State had one. I can't remember his name. Like one-handed over the shoulder, which was amazing in that game. against Baylor too. But so many great catches this weekend. Northwestern got the sad TD at the end to avoid the shutout. Rutgers was trying to a goal line stand to maintain the shutout. So that was kind of like the only drama in the game. Will Northwestern score points or not? And they did. They didn't even bother to go for two. They didn't even try an onside kick after that. So yeah, that happened. 24-7 Rutgers.
We also want to shout out to the VMI Keydets. VMI Keydets are traditionally not a great team. Let's be real honest here.
They were 1-11 last year. They beat Davidson. They were down 7-6. The Keydets drove down the field, and they got a touchdown to go to win 12-7. So the Keydets matched their win total for last year in the first week of the season. So shout out to the Keydets.
That is playoff participant Davidson, by the way.
That's
Davidson was in the playoffs last year.
That's right.
And the Keydets took them.
That's a big win for the Keydets. So big first win for the new Keydets head coach too.
I need to hear some predictions of Clemson-Duke.
All right.
What's our final score, y'all?
Clemson-Duke. It's at Duke. Okay.
Gotta have that 3-point home field advantage.
Yeah, right, which is what makes it 11-2 Duke.
11-2 Duke. So yeah,
like
we're not trying to get these correct, by the way. So we want to be the most.
Okay. Then 12-2 Duke.
12-2. Clemson is favored by 13, according to what I can see on ESPN. Clemson's ranked 9.
This is gonna be like, this is gonna be silly. This is gonna be 14-10 Clemson.
We need something to fill the silliness quota that LSU, FSU kind of stopped filling after the first half ended.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm spicy take Duke 24, Clemson 21. Something really, really stupid happens.
Okay. Again, that'd be great. I'm just going for weird numbers here, so I'll just do this. I'm going to say 25-19. Clemson wins, and it's on a block punt. They went on a block punt return. It'd be 19-18, and then Clemson blocks a punt and gets a touchdown to win 25-19. Totally wrong, but hey, it's great. I want to give a shout out to the safety alerts of the week. We had so many. We didn't have any in week 0. We had a plethora of safety. So here we go. Safety alerts of the week. I'm just going to read them off as fast as possible. Shout out to Indiana State, the Sicko Moors, snapping the punt out of the end zone. So that was, sorry, Indiana State. I want to give a shout out to Lindenwood, who defeated the team that they were playing to 73-2 because of this.
Yeah.
Wisconsin Stevens Point, I think what it was.
Yep, go Pointers.
That's right. They this was at the 45-yard line, their own 45-yard line, where they had the punt, and the punter snapped it so far of the punter's head, it went back into the end zone, and the punter had no choice but to kick it out of the end zone. And that's Wisconsin Stevens Point, their only points of the game. Shout out to that one. And that is probably the sicko safety alert of the week there. Howard's punter had a punter go through his hands and just right in his hands, just straight through his hands, and went right out the back of the end zone, giving Eastern Michigan a safety. Vandy blocked a punt, an Alabama A&M punt, and it bounced out of the end zone for a safety. ODU, shout out to ODU. They had a snap over the head of their punter from the 20-yard line that went out of the end zone. They were unable to defeat Virginia Tech because whoever was home in this game wins the game, apparently. And then also a shout out again to Idaho State, snapping over the head of their punter, which led to the weirdness score there in Snapdragon Stadium. Okay. So that's all of your safety alerts of the week.
Well, folks, I think we got this one done.
Did we hit Clock Commander?
I mean, I'm gonna give it to Virginia State. Like that.
Okay, yeah. Hold on. Let's go. So there's Clock Commander of the week. We had 3 nominees. We had the Virginia State coach who did not decide to take a safety. We had the Malone Stadium scoreboard that didn't work until midway through the second quarter. That was nominated by some folks in our Discord. Join us. It's a lot of fun in there. And then also Cody Hawkins for taking those 2 timeouts that didn't matter at all and just made me stay up later than what I had to. So
this is Virginia State's.
Virginia State. It's gotta be.
They won it, but they still get this.
Just take the safety.
Yeah.
We would have had another safety alert.
Yeah, it even counts as clock commanding because it left a second on. Like generally
It
we think
does.
about clock
Mhm.
commanders in terms of stupid use of timeouts. I appreciate the expansion of what it means to be a clock commander here.
Okay.
Sorry.
I want to throw like one quick shout out to my beloved Teal Tomcats, who were not able to score any points this weekend, but we are still hopeful that perhaps that elusive first home win since 2016 might be forthcoming, or even the first winning season since I attended back in 2005.
Well, folks, that is how we finish week 1. Well, I guess we decided to do Clemson. And we'll see you in a couple of days to get ready for week 2.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.